Jules here for Talk to Me Tuesday on Tuesday, February 25th. The last Tuesday of February, and I quilted 2 Linus quilts this weekend. I'm back, baby. Anyway, so I did, this is a quilt from Retreat. I'm just going to give you a quick look because it's not bound yet. I pieced this at Retreat with orphan blocks and leftover fabric that someone had donated to Jennifer's Linus group, and of course they are not Project Linus. So because it had peanuts all over it and the sashing was actually Project Linus fabric, she asked me if I wanted it for my group, so I did. And they also donated this, or somebody donated this. It might have been Abby actually. This Peanuts Easter fabric, which we don't usually do holiday stuff, but I think because this is a backing and because the front says Project Linus, I think this will be fine. But somebody sent it to Jennifer. She thought it was Abby, but she wasn't 100% sure. Anyway, that I just did a meander all over. That I just felt like a Peanuts themed Project Linus quilt was the perfect one to do as my inaugural Project Linus quilt on my frame. So it worked out great. I had no problems. I did it. I started it. I loaded the backing Friday morning. Friday night I started quilting. Finished it on Saturday. I finished quilting it, took it off the frame and got it trimmed and picked out my binding, which I already had in my 2.5-inch strip bin. I'm going to use this for the binding. It's just a tonal floral thing, but you can barely see the print. Goes well with the back, goes well with the front. So I'm happy with that. That turned out really well. So then I decided to tackle another Linus quilt and see if I could get it done while I was still on the weekend, and I did. You'll remember Susan's medallion that she sent me. It was too small. I took it as an orphan block to Retreat, and Jennifer added 2 borders to make it 37 inches square. And I dug this out of my stash of Linus backs, and it's supposed to look like knitting, and it was just a little bit longer and a little bit wider than the top, so it was perfect. And I actually pieced, used some leftover batting because the piece that I started with was not quite long enough. And I was able to just use like maybe 10 inches of additional batting that was left over from another project. So that one, this one I did waves on. And I'm happy with how that came out. I wasn't really sure what to do. There's so many seams on these with the pinwheels and everything that I decided to keep it as open a quilting pattern as I could. For binding, I have this right here, which was fabric I had in my stash. Had about a yard or so left, and I just went ahead and cut all of it into strips Sunday evening. So that is ready to bind as well. And I have 2 weekends. 2 weekends? Actually, no, longer, because the March 1st is this Sunday. And our meeting is the 2nd Saturday of each month. So I actually have almost 3 weeks to get these done. So hopefully I'll have even more done by then. So I feel pretty good. So far I've done 2 quilts that were both narrow enough to not have to shift the quilt side to side. I think I'm ready to try one, but first I'm just going to go ahead and see if there's any more narrow ones. I'll get all the narrowest ones done first, and then I will, so that I have lots of practice, and then I will tackle a wider one that I have to shift side to side on the Q-Zone hoop frame. So that was exciting, right? And then in other news, something I've been trying to do for years is get the nursery bars that have been there since we bought this house out of this window. I got them out of my daughter's room a few years back. It makes it so much easier to get to the window, clean the window, hang curtains, put blinds up, whatever. I kind of would like to put blinds in this window and then just hang something decorative across the top. But I may have to go ahead and do curtains because of this being so wide. There's no like wooden piece in the center to make it like two. So, but anyway, look, they're gone. They're gone. It needs to be cleaned, so don't look too closely. But they're gone. They're gone. I finally got them off of there. My Valentine's gift to myself was a new cordless drill driver set from Harbor Freight. My husband and I just happened to be there on the 15th. And yeah, I've been wanting one of my own to have in the project room for when I need stuff. Like when I built this table here, so I don't have to always go looking for my husband's drill. And he usually takes his drill driver back and forth to work. So yeah, so now I have my own. And it's small, so for my short hands, it's not too heavy. I like it. It's cordless, rechargeable, so I'm excited about that. And I already have some stuff planned for that sucker, so yay. I really need to get to work on the memory quilt, but I really want to have some more, and I let the recipient know who's, it was in memory of her mom. I let her know that I am up and running now, but I really want to get good and familiar with this setup and get more practice in before I tackle a quilt that size, because it's pretty big. And she was just like, you know, she's just excited that I'm doing this for her. So she was just like, you know, take your time. But I really want it to be nice, and I don't want to screw it up. So I would like to get some more practice under my belt before I do any of those. Meanwhile, I have at least 10 more Project Linus tops that are ready to be quilted. So waiting. So I guess I'll get busy. I am behind watching your videos, but I'm going to catch up in the next couple of days. I look forward to watching them, and I will see you next week. Bye!